There's something unsettling about a place that once thrived, now standing still as if time itself abandoned it. Centralia, Pennsylvania, was once like any other small American mining town. It had families, businesses, life in every corner. Children played in the yards, the local store bustled with chatter, and coal miners walked the streets in dusty boots after long shifts underground. But today, Centralia is quiet, not the peaceful kind of quiet, but a heavy silence that feels wrong, like the town is holding its breath. Because beneath the ground, a fire has been burning for over 6 decades, a fire that refuses to die, a fire that turned a thriving town into a ghost town, swallowing lives, homes, and memories, leaving behind only questions and smoke. In 1962, the town of Centralia had just over 1,000 residents. It sat atop one of the largest anthracite coal deposits in the United States, and mining had been the heartbeat of its economy for over a century. But beneath the prosperity was a dangerous oversight. Miles of old, abandoned coal tunnels crisscrossed under the town, many undocumented, some unstable. In May of that year, the town faced a problem. The landfill had reached capacity, and something had to be done. The local council decided to clean it up by setting it on fire, something that wasn't uncommon at the time. But this fire didn't go out. Unknown to them, the landfill had been placed over an old, forgotten coal seam. When the flames reached the seam, it caught fire, and the blaze began to travel. Underground, the fire spread silently, feeding on the vast coal deposits that stretched far beyond what anyone imagined. There was no explosion, no sudden disaster. At first, no one knew what was happening. Life continued. Children went to school. People shopped, worked, laughed. But underground, the town was dying. It started with heat. Sections of the ground became unusually warm. Steam and smoke began to seep out of cracks in the earth, smelling of sulfur and rot. Residents reported headaches, nausea, strange illnesses they couldn't explain. The streets began to buckle, yards caved in, flowers wilted from the heat of the soil, yet many stayed, some out of denial, others because it was their home and they couldn't believe something invisible could be so deadly. Then came February 14, 1981. A young boy named Todd Domboski was playing in his grandmother's backyard when the ground beneath him suddenly opened up. A sinkhole, 4 feet wide and nearly 150 feet deep, swallowed him in an instant. He managed to grab onto a tree root, screaming for help as noxious gases rose from the hole. His cousin pulled him to safety just in time. That incident changed everything. The government could no longer ignore what was happening in Centralia. Testing revealed deadly levels of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide seeping into basements and homes. Entire streets were unstable. The fire, moving underground at a slow but relentless pace, was consuming the very foundation of the town. Experts tried to put it out. They dug trenches to cut off the fire's path. They poured wet sand, slurry, even fly ash into the tunnels. Nothing worked. The fire had a mind of its own, stretching in directions no one could predict. In 1984, the U.S. government allocated more than $40 million to buy out residents and relocate them. Some took the offer, leaving behind everything they knew. Others resisted. They believed the danger was exaggerated or simply didn't want to leave their homes. Court battles followed. Eminent domain was declared. The state claimed the remaining properties. Buildings were demolished one by one, leaving empty streets lined with nothing but weeds and cracked pavement. By the 2000s, only a handful of residents remained, stubborn and defiant, refusing to let go. Today, Centralia is a shadow of what it once was. The main street is gone, overtaken by graffiti and nature. Known as Graffiti Highway, it became an unofficial landmark where thrill seekers and urban explorers walked a road that literally led to nowhere. The church still stands, oddly untouched by the flames. Some say it's a miracle, others call it luck. But most of the town is silent, the underground fire still smoldering, slowly creeping beneath the hills. Scientists estimate it could burn for another 250 years. What's strange is that no one can say exactly how far the fire has spread. It doesn't burn like a typical fire. It's not a blazing inferno with flames and smoke clouds. It moves slowly, devouring coal and releasing gases. It could be miles beyond what anyone suspects, or it could be burning out under layers of stone and earth. There's no way to be sure. That uncertainty adds to the eeriness of Centralia. It's not just a ghost town, it's a place still dying, still fighting an invisible enemy that no one can defeat. Many believe the town is cursed. Theories and legends have formed over the years. Some say the fire was a punishment for greed coal mining that went too deep, too recklessly. Others speak of spirits disturbed beneath the earth. One local tale even claims that the fire was not natural at all, but summoned, awakened by something ancient lying dormant in the mines. The truth may be simpler, but the fear remains. Visitors report a strange feeling in Centralia, like being watched. The silence is not peaceful but suffocating. The air is thick, the landscape surreal. Trees grow in odd shapes. The ground is cracked in places where it shouldn't be. Smoke sometimes rises unexpectedly, reminding everyone that the fire is still alive. Dogs refuse to walk certain paths. Electronics fail for no reason. Some believe it's psychological. Others aren't so sure. The most haunting part of Centralia is not what you see, but what you imagine. The invisible danger beneath your feet. The sense that the town itself remembers what happened, that it mourns its own death. Homes, once full of laughter, now erased. Lives uprooted. Histories buried under toxic earth. And yet, Centralia persists, held in place by those few who refuse to leave, and the mystery that continues to burn below. Even today, the government warns against visiting Centralia, though that hasn't stopped the curious. The roads leading in are blocked, but people find ways through the woods or side paths. Some go to take photos, others out of fascination. But every so often, someone claims they saw something they can't explain, lights flickering underground, figures in the smoke, voices where no one should be. Whether these are hallucinations caused by gas or the residue of stories passed down for generations, it's hard to say. What makes the story of Centralia so chilling is not just the fire, but the silence that followed. The slow erasure of a community, the unanswered questions, the realization that something so small, a fire in a landfill, could unravel an entire town. It's a reminder of how fragile our lives are, how one moment can change everything, and how sometimes the scariest things are not the loudest, but the ones that smolder quietly, refusing to die.